Like mentioned earlier on during the opening segment of the show, we mentioned some of the programs lined up coming up next month will be the Safari Sevens. Remember, Safari Sevens, part of the Kenya Sevens circuit in the series. And of course, we had the series and we had KCB being declared the champions of the 7th series. Won 4 out of the 6 legs that were out there. Strathmore coming out with 2 wins. And of course, by the end of it all in Kisumu during the Dallas Sevens, it was always going to be KCB all the way. We are privileged and honored to be joined by 2 members of the KCB team with us in studio to help us pan out on how the 7th series was and what we can expect, because they've also been drafted to represent KCB in the 7th championships that will be Safari Sevens that will be coming up next month in Nairobi at the Nyayo National Stadium. We are joined by 2 veterans of the game. They know it, they understand it all well when it comes to matters rugby. 15 sevens, they can talk about rugby from morning till whatever time you want to talk about, and very interesting at their mastery of the game. I've been talking to them and some of the things they were talking about, I was like, I didn't know, but now I know. Ladies and gentlemen, viewers back at home, let me start with my immediate left. We are joined by Brian Wahinya, veteran with KCB, and also, KCB right now taking care of the fly halves in terms of making sure that those conversions and, the game just flies well. Brian, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Nice to see you.
Nice to see you as well. Thank you.
And congratulations being a 7th, circuit champion.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
I'll cross over to my right, and we are joined by Jacob OJ, also with KCB, transitioned from playing, now going into coaching. We'll find out why. Currently, the, backs coach with us this afternoon. OJ, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Nice to see you.
Asante sana.
How has it been?
It's been good. I'm happy to be here.
Karibu sana, and congratulations as well for winning, the 7th circuit. We'll talk about why Nakuru is not good for KCB, but it's good for you, during your days as a player. Brian,
Yeah.
4 out of 6 last season. At least we had 3 or 4 winners of the 7th circuit. This time round, it's been KCB 4 times, and only lost twice. And to the same team. That's that's Strathmore University. How has it been? And congratulations once again.
Thank you so much. It's been a very, very good series for us. 7 series circuits, the whole circuit from Driftwood to the last leg of the Dallas Sevens. The boys really worked hard for it, and we earned our stripes. Everything that was there, we earned it. We really played our heart out. We trained everything, blood and sweat. We keep each other accountable, and those are the results. The fruits were very sweet.
It looks like with the new, bench that's coming up, you're quickly bringing up the new playing unit, those coming in, to the KCB way, or ways of doing things, because you can tell, like Brian says, the fighting mentality, going out for each other. OJ, how has it been? Because a new bench, is coming up, the likes of Amonde, yourselves, and it looks like you've just transferred every silver lining to the playing unit.
I think, first of all, last year we didn't have a very good rugby year as a club. And given that we always pride ourselves of always competing at the highest level, we had to go back to the drawing board and just try and do stuff afresh. Break it down from the beginning up to the end. So we had a very long pre-season, which was with the head coach in charge and every other person. We had like 8 to 10 weeks of just pre-season for 7s. So we were gunning to actually go for all the 6 of them, because we knew we had the squad, but just the preparation would be the difference. So we had to plan very intricately, and we had a very long pre-season. We have never done an 8 to 10 week pre-season before 7s. So that was part of the reason why we were competing at a very high level. We also brought in younger guys into the squad and blended them with experience like Onyala, Mohati, Wahinya over here. So since we had 8 weeks with them, they were able to grasp the KCB way of doing things very, very, very quickly. And at the end of it, when we started the tournament, we were very confident in how we were going to perform, because we also had a large squad with everyone ready and raring to go. So the squad rotation worked for us, the fitness levels, the understanding, and just the grit really worked for us towards the 7th success.
Excellent, OJ. And as you talk about that, when you talk about, the entire circuit, Wahinya, it's been crisscrossing town after town. Started off in Mombasa, Driftwood, Meru, Embu, Embu Sevens. You've been to Nakuru, Kisumu, all this. And of all the, the tournaments that you played during the 7th circuit, which was the most difficult and why?
The most difficult, I think, for me personally, I would say it's Embu for now. Because definitely it's usually Prince Lou, but Prince Lou this time we reached the finals. For me, that's a milestone. Though it wasn't, we wanted to take the W, but what we had was a stepping stone for most of us, because most of us have never won the Prince Lou tournament till now. But that was a challenging tournament, but Embu was I think was the hardest for us as a team. Yeah.
Why do you say it was the hardest?
I think everything. I think from the transition from KBB, we were from winning the KBB straight to Embu. We thought we were struggling with some of the games. We were winning, but some of the games we were just struggling and fighting our way to the top. And then the last game against Strathmore, they came at us. But we tried our best, but it wasn't just meant to be. It wasn't to be. Yeah, it wasn't to be.
Well, as we talk about that, OJ, it looks like Strathmore, had your number in any final that they played against you guys. Because from the word go, they would throw everything at you. And let's look at Prince Lou, for example, in Nakuru, where they got off very, very well. Yeah. And by the time you came back in the second half throwing everything, including the proverbial kitchen sink, it was too late, and the weather also played its part.
Yeah, props to Strathmore. They had a very, very good series as well. And they were the closest competitor the whole season. And I think with them having our number I think probably they were just executing their plays or their strategy towards KCB in a perfect manner. We struggled a bit to contain them. We struggled a bit to probably manage them in the first maybe 2 to 3 minutes of the game, because that's where they won both the finals. They beat us in the first half, in the first 5 minutes. So if you check Embu, by 3 minutes we were down 20 points. So playing catch up, and it's a 7's game, is 7 minutes. 7 minutes a piece, a half. So if we tried playing catch up in Embu, but we couldn't reach there. In Nakuru, the same. They started at a very high intensity. We were ready for it, we had planned for it, but I think their level of execution in those two particular finals was very, very perfect, and that's props to them. We also played them twice again. We played them in Mombasa, where we came off the blocks faster than them. So I think it was a game of who starts the game better. And also in Dala, which was the penultimate stage, where it was a quarterfinal, which was actually a final. Whoever won that quarterfinal will probably winning the series. And we managed to triumph over that because we also came off the blocks faster. So I think the two teams were very well prepared for the series, but it just depended on that particular game who came off the blocks quicker than the other one. Because playing catch-up against a very good side is very hard in 7's rugby.
Tough it can be, and let's look at the Dala one, Brian, because for Dala it was very clear that for KCB to win this, circuit, all they need to do is make sure they reach the semis of the Dala. Then here you are, your rivals, that is Strathmore, are, looking at the schedule, you are meeting them in the quarters. So you know that this is the final, like OJ says, before the final, because that's the final, the match that gives or takes it away from you. How do you prepare mentally, or how did you guys prepare mentally, psychologically, and physically, and like OJ says, to get off the block before the other? Because historically, anyone who gets off the block well gets to carry the day.
As for us, thanks to the coaches, because we prepared well enough, very well. So first of all, we were confident in ourselves, but Strathmore we had already lost to Strathmore like twice in a row in the finals. So we also had that. So we went in there, we knew that we are the underdogs in this tournament, in that battle between us and Strathmore, we are the underdogs. But so we want to go there, everyone has to just give out their best. Everyone had to just be there for your teammate, you play for each other, and just be there for. So we had a meeting as a team. We came in together, talked what we need to do, what everyone is bringing onto the table, and I think the next day we were going to execute, because there's no one who was going to take that prize away from us. We wanted the overall circuit, so we had to take all of it.
These are some of those, highlights, moments in it, OJ, that it is now or never. And the team looks like so psyched up, making very good use of the pitch throughout. Some of the most improved players, or would you give it to any of them because you drafted some new players coming into the team?
I'm actually looking at the video and I just saw Mike Wekesa score a try.
Yes.
Wekesa was at KCB a few years back before he went to school at ZTech. So he just came back. So if you are picking about some of the most improved, he's actually earned his stripes back into the team. Olukusi also stepped up in big ways because he was our biggest ball carrier. But when mentioning Olukusi, you can't not mention Bob Muhati, who's been like the heart of the team. He's been like our co-captain, and he's been picking up the bigger hits because he's through them. Everyone has a different role. Then Asati is always timeless. It's just Asati and Onyala, evergreen. But the smaller guys, the Wahinyas, the Zola coming back from Strathmore. So that's why I'm saying we had like a whole team that gelled together, that had trust in each other, regardless of who was playing. We had Kipruto stepping up. We have a 19-year-old, 18-year-old in the team as well, and a couple of them, not even one. So everyone had a chance, and everyone was just chipping in and giving their best for the team. So I think that's part of the reason why we won, the squad depth and the trust within the squad that actually made everyone step up and elevate their game towards the success.
Well, as we look at that, even your traveling fans look like Brian. They always believe that.
Because we usually travel as a squad of 14. That was like our 15th man.
Always.
Yes.
They are there in numbers, and you can see them always pushing you. Brian, do they put pressure?
For us, I think there's no pressure.
Looking at those moments, just
it's never pressure for us because I think we already prepared well enough. So going in there is usually just to make them happy because they're usually supporters. They give us the moral support, the messages they send to us on our pages, on our social media pages. When they get up, when we link up like face to face, they motivate us, guys. We're here for you guys. So it's always a motivation for us, and it's always a good thing having those guys as our fans.
Always a good thing, but I've never known, OJ, as we look at those live, those pictures, not live, sorry, why is it that in rugby you always change Ngelia key, to key O? You never say Kikombe, you say Okombe.
I think
I've never known where the Ngelia key O comes from.
I don't know, I also just found the tradition.
There you go, the Okombe moment.
Yeah, and coming from the Lake Nation, the O easily works for me. So I just went on with the flow. But it's a good chant. It's a good tradition that rugby has its own way of doing things, and it's a very good family. It's a very tight-knit family, and through that we learn a lot. So whatever culture we have that rugby drives on the positive front, that's what we pick and move on with it.
As we pick up, you've now mentioned moving on with the same. Brian, as a player, what does this mean for you? Because now you are the 7's champions. And of course, there are those who always believe that the 7th series is always like a warm-up into the 15s. And you can clearly tell that this is a team that has the potential to go all the way. What does this mean for you from the playing unit point of view?
For us, it's like the things you work hard for. It's the fruits of our hard work. So it's a dream for like most of us. You dream to win these such titles. These are accolades that even someday when I retire, I'll be like I did this, guys. I can flex to the upcoming guys. In our time, we won, and for us, like Oji did in their time, and for me, it's like everything to me. This is the reason we work hard. This is the reason we'll keep each other accountable. This is the reason we'll wake up very early in the morning. So it's like everything we work hard for, and it's usually a triumph getting the title.
Still with you, Brian, in terms of physicality, we've just seen through those images there that your physicality, the power was up there. You could just see the way you guys are shoving off players as you move on. Talk about your training, your strength and conditioning. Is it a case of no pain, no gain, or is it a case of more pain, more gain?
I think, like you said, it's like more pain, more gain. We usually train very, very hard. Our coaches, you know, we have the likes of OJ,
Let's assume
Andrew,
OJ is not here. We're just
Andrew,
talking.
Even Andrew, like those are guys in their time, they used to work very, very hard. So they believe in that slogan that you have to work hard and earn your stripe. So they really push us so hard. And I think the boys are usually just, because we always want to win. So we just give ourselves out there, and whatever they want, we usually just we put in the work and we give our heart out to it. And kudos to our coaches. Yeah, they really push us a lot. So when we go out there, you're just confident with everything you're doing. You're just confident, fitness, everything, mental, the emotion, everything is always on check.
Wow, always on check. OJ, let's talk about you know, some of the strong points that you from the technical bench picked out of this you know, sevens tournament you know, circuit. What would you say was one of your biggest you know, strong points, or even the weak points that you feel you need to improve on as you prepare for the Safari Sevens?
Normally, a sevens game is usually won on the set pieces, and one of the most important set pieces in sevens is the kickoff. Whoever wins the kickoff probably wins the game. I'll say that to say this. The 2 games we lost to Strathmore, they controlled the kickoff. Because when you kick off the ball and you retrieve your ball, then you're playing the ball. In Embu, they kicked off 3 times, retrieved it 3 times, and scored 3 times. So one of the strengths that we had, that Strathmore also had, was the kickoff. Because at KCB, we can throw multiple bodies at you. We have Onyala, we have either Wekesa or Lukusi going at the ball. So when you control the kickoff in rugby in sevens, you're probably controlling the game of sevens. And that was one of our biggest points. Because in sevens, again, when you score, you get the chance of kicking off again. It's not like in 15s when we score, the opponents kick off.
Yeah, exactly.
When you score in sevens, you're given the ball to kick it off again. So if you're controlling the kickoff, you'll always have the ball, you'll always be attacking, and always be scoring. So that was one of our major strengths. And also we have big boys in terms of Olukusi, Jojo Oro, and Bob Mohati. So we use that to our advantage as well, because when they go into contact, it takes 2 or 3 people to take them down. So that means you bring in the defenders and create more space outside for our speedy wingers like Floyd and Shiasi and all the other boys. So that was also our strength. And the breakdown. Those are the set pieces in sevens.
OJ, you know, just to pick it up from there, how do you train the, you know, the kickoffs? What is the most important? Is it the kicker, the person taking the kick, or is it the team reacting with speed to make sure that they are the first ones to tap it back home?
It's a synchrony of all those measures. The kicker has to have a pinpoint kick. The chaser has to have aerial prowess to contest. And the guys blocking, or the second wave of attackers, have to have the awareness of any dropped ball over there. So it's just 3 things. So it's a synchrony of the team. So if Wahinya is kicking off and he's saying it's kicking to the left, we have a name to the left. If I'm going for the ball, I know my role. If the person inside me is waiting for the tap, in case I don't catch it, the person inside is waiting for the pass after that. But all that don't happen if Wahinya doesn't put the kick where he says it's going to put the kick. So
a lot comes to play, and also hoping that there is a knock-on.
A knock-on, yeah. And there's always one rule. If you're not getting the ball, we'd rather start the game at a set piece over there. Let them not catch it.
Yes, exactly.
Let them not catch it. Let's start with a scrum or something. So it's a contest. A kickoff it has to be a contest in sevens. Any team that contests and wins the kickoff most probably always wins the game.
Brian, from a fly-half point of view, would you prefer, you know, to kick it back or kick it just within the 10-meter line?
For the sevens, I usually prefer kicking it to the 10-meter line, because we have very good ball have people like Onyala, Olukusi, Jojo Oro, Wekesa.
Get it back.
Anytime you put the ball at the 10, you'll never get disappointed. Any day, they'll take the ball. Any day, they'll take the ball. So always I prefer it just at the 10 there, because we'll take the ball back and attack the opponents.
We'll talk about much more about this. It gets interesting by the minute as we go on, how they perfect their kickoffs and how they win those contests, because that is where rugby is won. We are going into a short commercial break. When we come back, we continue the discussion with Kenya Commercial Bank, who are the 7's series winners, and of course going into Safari Sevens, what their expectations are and how prepared they are for the same after this short commercial break. Welcome back. That was just a small commercial break to also give us a breather and have a sip of water. And remember, we are joined in studio by Kenya Commercial team, that triumphant team that saw off the 7's series champions. They won 4 out of the 6. Strathmore ran away with 2, but still the champions are here with us. And by virtue of being champions, they've been drafted into the Kenya Safari Sevens, tournament that will be coming up later on. Remember, it's an international tournament where we have teams coming from across the globe to just grace and be part of the same, which means it's a complete different ball game. OJ, how prepared are you for Safari Sevens, or after the Okombe moment you decided, you know what, it's a break, let's wait for 7's?
No, we're very prepared. As I keep saying, KCB is always expected to compete at a very high level. We know Safari Sevens is another level up or levels up in terms of competition. We have some of our players being called up for the national team, so definitely they're not going to play for KCB. But that also gives a chance to the younger guys and the other squad members to step up into those positions and try and compete against the national team and the invitational teams. So when, take for example, if Wahinya is not been called up for the national team and is now playing at number 10, and they meet up with Shujaa, he's going to play against Asati, for example. So that's also something that the boys are looking forward to, trying to also lift up their hands, saying that to the selectors, because it's also another opportunity to be in a big stage, to play your best for the selectors of the national team, to see that maybe we missed out on someone who's probably capable of playing for the national team. So we are very prepared. The boys are psyched up. We usually call Safari Sevens call-up or invitation tournaments as a reward. It's part of the Okombe part, because you only get invited to play in that big tournament if you are the winners of the National 7 Series. So for us, it's also a reward for our hard work, and the boys are very excited and ready for it.
As we look at the same in terms of getting ready, Brian, you've been at different, both levels, national team, club level. How is it like coming in, assuming that you are at national level with Shujaa or Moran, then you have to take on KCB, your club mates? Do you ever think of, what, let me go slow, or Sasa, it's complete different ball game, and you have to deliver? Because remember, you must also impress your selectors to show that, what, I'm here by virtue of the hard work, and I deserve to be here.
It's always a different ball game. When we get into that rectangle, it's always a different ball game. We become opponents for, if it's 7 minutes or 14 minutes. We just have to run hard at each other. Yeah. We just fight in there, but immediately when we get out of that rectangle, we're friends, we're teammates, back to the old setup. But in that moment, you just switch on, you represent your team. If it's the national team, if it's KCB, you just give your level best, because you deserve to be there. So it's always just going to give you your best any day, anytime. You don't care who the opponent is.
Interesting, OJ. From a technical bench point of view, how do you adjust, assuming that the bulk, remember, you also alluded to this earlier on when we were talking off air, that the team that wins normally has the bulk, yes, heading to the national team. Yeah. Assuming that you still have the bulk heading to the national team, yeah, it means team rotation and readjustments must come to play. Are you prepared for the same, that might be the case? I
think we're very prepared for it, because as I said earlier, the guys who were not selected for the national team have an opportunity to now step up to the big stage and represent themselves and the club at the highest level. So for us, it's a challenge, but it's a welcomed challenge, because now we have, let's say, 6 or 7 KCB boys playing for the national team, and we have a chance of fielding another 12. So that in itself gives KCB an upper hand in terms of preparation, even for the coming tournament or the league, because we have 20 or so players playing at the highest level of rugby in the country. And the younger boys or the squad members who are not selected, it's their moment now to take up the positions, because when you're playing during KCB or the series, you're like, why am I not selected to play at KBC? But now, you are not being selected probably because Onyala was there. Onyala is not there anymore. So it's we are counting on to help us attain this particular goal. So for them, for KCB, it's a welcomed call because they want to step up. So it's an easy thing for the technical bench because you're working with a group that's already ready for the challenge. They just need the stage to go play. Yeah.
Interesting. Brian, as a player, fly half and all the other things that you do in the team, is it by default that after training you can always tell that anytime I'm in this situation, by default, for example, Onyala will be available, Oro will be available, Asati should be available, Zola should be available. By default, when I'm in such a situation, you know that based on the training pattern you've had, by default, somebody should be somewhere.
Yeah, it's always that's why we train. So you just get the connections, you just try to understand how everyone plays. For us, probably for me, like as a playmaker, my job is to play make and maybe distribution and to put other people into spaces. So every time we train, we just do the same things over and over again. It's a repetition. So anytime you just do something, sometimes even you can close your eyes and you just do it, you know that guy is always going to be there. So it's always just the chemistry, just trying to find the chemistry with the guys you're with and just now deliver whatever comes.
And as you do that, as playmakers, there are times where you make very bold moves. Very bold moves. I was watching a clip the other day of Collins Injera making a very bold move. When Kenya made it, when Kenya actually won the Singapore Sevens in the semis against Argentina, when he went for a drop kick against everybody's, thought. Nobody expected that. You playmakers always, just believe in yourselves and do something that nobody expects. What informs that? Is it the belief that you have in yourself?
As a playmaker, that's your job. Everyone in the team, even in case of anything, everyone always looks at the playmaker. In case anything goes wrong, they'll come to the playmaker. So you always have to be at your level best. You always have to be confident in everything that you do. You always have to be present and just be aware of every situation. Always, always. So as a playmaker, it's the confidence, everything is always at par.
And the training bit. You've trained for it.
And you must always be ready to make very quick decisions.
Always, because everyone will be looking at you. What should we do? What's next? What next? Number 10, number 10. So every time you just have to be confident. Because the repetition and the training, so always it always just comes. It's just something. It sounds like it's a different thing. It's a difficult decision, but at that time it's just part of you. It's part of what you've been doing. So you just come, I'll take it. I'll not here.
I don't envy you. As we start winding up these discussions, OJ, what can we expect, from KCB in the Sevens circuit? Have you guys set yourself standards? Is there something you want to achieve? Or it's a case of let's go out there and continue the good run that we've had in the season, hoping that you can carry it forward into the 15th?
In Safari Sevens, it's a different ballgame altogether. It's a very, very, as you said, it's an international tournament. We expect competition, a very big, huge competition from the touring sides, the invitation sides. There's national teams coming over there. There'll be 2 of our national teams over there. So the competition bit is definitely up there, maybe a notch or 2 notches up from the 7 series. But it's something that we are willing to. It's not the first time we've been there. We've been there and caused upsets. I've been with the KCB team that beat Spain.
Correct.
Spain plays in the HSBC series. And that same team, you can go and Google those names and Google them vis-a-vis the team that's been winning games at the series. It's almost the same. Maybe 1 or 2 additions or 1 or 2 different names. So when KCB pops up there and they win a game like that, then probably it's a competition that we want to be part of. We've never gone past a given level in that competition. That's our next challenge. If you can boast yourself of having a depth and wealth of experience and youth in the team, then we can also try and challenge ourselves to say, okay, we want to go to the quarterfinals, and then maybe from there we can see what happens.
Okay.
Yeah.
Brian, as a player, I mean, what's your dream? What's your goal? To make it maybe to the HSBC main tournament or play professional? What's your aim?
Definitely, it's play professional rugby, because we've played here in Kenya, we've played the HSBC, we've played the 15, so definitely I know I will be getting some professional rugby in the caller. That will be something else. And that's also the dream.
Lupita Nyong'o says your dreams are valid. Go for them. OJ, where do you see this KCB outfit based on what you've seen from a technical point of view in the next 5 years to come?
So I come from a KCB side that gave itself 5 years to dominate, which we did. Then we've had a slight of a slump, but we were rebuilding and transitioning. So the next 5 years again for us is just termed with one word: dominance.
Dominance.
Yeah.
Wishing you all the best, and we'll be keeping an eye, in the sevens, Safari Sevens that's coming up, and we'll be, supporting you, cheering you guys all the way, hoping that you don't let your fans down, and hoping that you can get the Okombe moment once again back to KCB.
Yeah.
Remember, there's so much to talk about this KCB team and KCB and rugby, because we've not even touched on the 15s. Well, what does it take? Power seems to have shifted from Thika Road to Western Kenya, but the team in studio believe that it's a matter of time. It will soon be coming back to Thika Road. Shots fired, Western Kenya. Watch out, Kabras. There are those who say when it rains, it's always Kabras Day, but I don't know what it is with the rain. Yeah. OJ, thank you very much. Brian, thank you very much. Wishing you all the best, and we'll be keeping an eye. We have been having a discussion with the triumphant KCB team here in studio, getting ready for the Safari Sevens international tournament that will be happening in the mid of October. And as we look at all that, we'll be letting you know what to expect.